In previous session, we talked about how to use, input decorator tag and output decorator tag. Basically, both are used to provide data exchange between two components, right? So if you want to pass data from parent to child, child to parent, you can do it using input and output decorator tag. In this session, I'm going to show you how to use HTTP client. What is HTTP client? HTTP client is basically used to access your REST API. It is used to fetch data from remote web service, that is REST API in this. So first thing is you have to design the REST API so that you can show all the dog data over here. Right now, this dog data is coming from service layer where you have hard coded it, and you have seen in the previous session. If you want, I can show you how it was hard coded. Fine. This was hard coded, right? I replaced with that's fine. So what I need to do, we have to first we have to design the REST API. For designing the REST API, I'm using Spring Boot. So what you can do is you can go and make a Maven project, right? And you know how to do it. Clear? Right click, new, and you can go to the other, and here you can type Maven. It's okay. And you can use Maven project. Then select first option, select it, next. And here you can type group ID, artifact ID is the project name, group ID we use in multi-module project, and packaging jar and finish. After it, you can go to the POM. In POM, you have to just mention it, the parent POM, which is saying I'm using Spring Boot 2.4.7 version, and I'm using Java 8 over here. Clear? And this is for skipping the test cases, which I'm not interested right now. And this jar is enough to design the REST API in Spring Boot. This jar is enough. But why I'm using other? This jar will ensure if you do some changes in your code, your application will automatically restart and your changes will be reflected. And this I'm knowingly added because I want my REST API should be accessed from the other domain. So basically, I want to avoid the CORS issue, cross resource sharing, right? So CORS is one of the very commonly known issues. CORS. Any guess? It stands for cross origin resource sharing. This error normally comes when you are making a call, AJAX call from one domain to other domain. So in order to bypass or avoid this issue, I am just adding a Spring security dependency. I hope everything is clear so far. Yeah. After that, I'm just making the Spring Boot main file. You know it, right? Dog starter, Spring Boot application annotation, REST controller. Here, this annotation, I'm not doing anything, so I'm deleting it. Okay. And this, I just wrote it over here because I don't want to get new file. But this dog file, I'm just going to make it knowingly in the separate file. Clear? Not a big deal. Done. I think this is nice to have. Okay, people. Yeah, yeah. This is similar to TypeScript. After it, after creating your main file, I have created a Spring security file. In this, what I'm disabling, man, I'm creating a class, and this is the Spring security adapter file, which is used to make the configuration file for Spring, and just use this annotation so that all the Spring security features should be enabled. Here I'm more adding configure method. In that I'm saying I want to disable which feature? CSRF stand for, any guess? Cross-site request forgery. This is one of the feature of the Spring security. In Spring secure, since Spring Security 4, it is by default enable. You have to disable it. Done. And then I'm making my REST API. Here we have a class, and you see this is the endpoint. Find dogs. What it is doing, it is just creating a couple of dogs, hard-coded value. Later, this value will come from database. Then you are returning this dog, map with dog. And here REST controller will ensure this will consume raw data and produce raw data always. Depend on your accept as per the client. And this is just for versioning purpose. I'm just saying right now my REST API version is v5. And this annotation, cross origin, you want to just ensure this REST API should be called from any domain so that you can avoid CORS issue, cross origin request sharing problem you can avoid for that purpose. So this is all about REST API. So when you run it, it is going to run by default on which port number? Ram, I don't have application or property file. If you want to change the port number or you want to provide certain, do the certain setting in display security, then you can create an application or property file. Here you can make it application.yaml file. It is up to you. You know already. So my REST API endpoint is this. What man? Localhost, port number. This is the version and dog. So this JSON data is coming. Now this JSON data, I want to consume it from my Angular REST client. If you want to enable REST client in Angular, you have to do the certain setting. First thing, you have to add HTTP client module in main module of the Angular project. In Angular project, main module is defined inside app folder. There is a file that is called app module.ts file. Here, this one. In this file, I'm just importing this module, HTTP client module over here. Then I'm adding in my import modules. Here you see form module, comma, this one, comma, done. And once it is done, then you have to then it's create a service implicitly that is called HTTP client object that you can inject in your service layer. My service layer, as per the design we have in service project, this one. What I'm doing over here, simply in the constructor, this is called constructor injection. I'm just saying, hey HTTP client, I want to inject to you here. Why I'm using private? Because if you write private, automatically this variable will be available over here, right? You know it. So this is a shortcut of that code. After it, this is the place where I'm making the REST call. Ram, you are right. I'm correct. This is the
Correct, sir.
place where
Uh, we
we
can
are,
call the REST API.
yeah, making where we are making REST call. How? See, this .http, and here you can use get, put, post, patch, whatever you want to use. So this one, and here you have to mention whatever data will come, that will go into which type? Dog array type, because I know my output is coming as a array. Can you see this? This is the array because it is returning from the list. So when you return list of the data in REST API in Java, it will be automatically converted into array of the JSON data. So because of array, I'm using dog and this. This is basically generics, right? You have to just tell the nature of the output, which is coming from the REST API. Done. After it, this method is not returning dog array dog. It is returning observable. Observable is a very important concept. Before observable, we were using promise, but observable is more, more versatile. Because it is always nature, lazy in nature, and in this you can make the parallel call also. We'll talk on that more about, right? Basically it makes your application to load data in lazy fashion. So whatever data you are getting from REST API in array, you are just wrapping into observable interface, and it is coming from this RxJX API. So when you call it, it is not going to return you the dog. Let's see where we are calling. It is going to return the observable. So how we can make the call? Earlier, whatever call you were making in your app company.ts file, you have to do little bit change. What we are doing, we were doing earlier, this dog service find dogs. It is directly returning with the dog, right? You are setting it. Now what we are doing? This dog service find dog. Ram, up to here, it is returning what? Any guess? When you call this method Ram, it is returning you
Area of dog.
observable, right? Can you see
Mhm.
this? I can break into two part, right? Yep. Hello, Ram. It is returning observable man. Clear? Yeah.
Yes.
You can go and check the return type of it, right? It is returning observable. You can import over here. Import it. Fine. Why is giving error? Give me a second. You see, I'm fan of Java, right? So I'm doing mistake or not? In TypeScript, if you want to write the same syntax, you have to use like this. Ram, yes or no? Yeah. First of all, variable name, then colon. What do you say? Yeah.
Yes.
Why is giving error is still? Just a second. Yeah, I understand the reason. Here you are returning observable, and actually you have to do typecasting here. Either you can, because when it comes over here, its types become any. So any means, any guess? Any means you can, you know what I'm saying? Any means, let me start. Ram, here
Yes, sir.
earlier you can call this method in two ways. You can call in one line or you can call in two line. I'm just making two line to make it more readable. How? First, this dot dog service. I'm calling find dogs. Simply, what is it returning? Observable, right? Why we use observable? I told you to make it lazy loading. We'll talk on that. So it is returning what, man? Observable, observable wrapped in dog array, right? Because data is coming in array of the JSON data. So here you can write anything. Ram, yes or no? Yeah,
Yes,
variable
sir.
name, right? T data. Clear? After that, you can subscribe on it. Can you see this? Like here, once you got the observable, you are saying, hey, observable, I want to subscribe so that whenever data will come, right? Aram, data might be come after some time, right? That's fine. When you subscribe it, right? Subscribe it, then here you are using, lambda function. Am I right? Using fat arrow operator. Do you know? You can write like this, or you can write callback function also. How, man? Hey, anybody remember? Layman approach? Mm-hmm. Say yes, you are following me. Same thing you can write like this also. Yes or no? And later
Yes,
you can
sir.
assign to the dog. This dot dogs. Are you with me? This data. Ram. Either you do what I'm saying. You have two approach of doing it, right? Either you can use this function, but like if you use this function, right? Then in this you cannot use this operator, right? So you have to put a little bit extra effort. Can you see this? When I'm using this, in this it is going to refer to this function. So here, that's why normally we avoid it. If you use this, right? This I will clarify in next session. Okay. This you cannot use.
Mhm.
People, this will not point to this variable. Remember it. When you use this, it will point to the
Right.
yeah, yeah, it will point to the calling object. This. So in order to avoid this problem, here we should use always what? Lambda function. Please
Lambda.
remember it. Then that problem won't become. This is one of the difference between normal anonymous function and lambda function. Okay. So here we have only one line. What we can do, Ram? If you have one line, then you can delete curly bracket, open, and curly
Yes.
bracket close, and semicolon also. Done. Simple. So if you want to write the same thing in one line, Ram, you can do it. Here I am getting this observable over here, then I'm just subscribing it, right? So what you can do,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to make
You
shortcut,
can do.
what you can do, you can write the same thing in one line. How? Simple. First of all, call the method. At the same time, you can subscribe it in the same line. Done. So we talked about all the approach of it. Clear, guys? So what you have learned in this session, you have just learned how to make the REST API using Spring Boot, and we talked about what cross origin issue is, and we talked about another problem which comes with the REST API with the Spring that is called cross-site request forgery. This is all about designing REST API in Spring Boot, and second, we talked about how we can consume over here, right? And all the step I discussed. So quickly I can recap it. If you want to use HTTP client in Angular, first thing in app module.ts file, you have to use this HTTP client module. Just add it. After it in service layer, you have to inject one of the inbuilt service of HTTP client module that is called HTTP client. So here this is called constructor injection. You know the technique, right? Why we are making this code shorter, right? So automatically, if you make it private, HTTP will be available here as the HTTP client. And here we are just making get call, but we can make post call, put call, patch call, post call. We'll see that, okay, in next session. Other. I think this is enough, right? So what
Yeah.
we have done how to call REST API in Angular. So guys, for this session, it is enough. In next session, we will see other method of the REST API so that you can understand everything end to end. Thank you so much for your time.